All right, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. My name's Chase Bernard. I'm the GIS manager with the town of Chapel Hill. I hope everybody's enjoying the conference so far. Got up and made it to one of the first sessions, so congratulate you guys. Today we have the good fortune of having Corin Melfi and Ben Masters join us. They both work for Blue Raster. Blue Raster's been a good partner with the town, working on some pretty high-profile projects and some pretty neat projects. So I'm definitely looking forward to their presentation. I'll let them introduce themselves, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Hi, I'm Corin Melfi. I'm project manager at Blue Raster. So Ben and I are going to tag team this presentation. So if at any point you can't hear us, just yell.
Hi everyone, I'm Ben Masters, also a project manager with Blue Raster, and we're going to go ahead and get started.
Right, so who is Blue Raster? This year marks our 21st year anniversary. We are a small business formed in 2002. We specialize in GIS and web application development and provide a full range of services from setting up enterprise, designing data visualization tools, and optimizing field GIS workflows. And a lot more recently, doing the training around some ArcMap migration to Pro. So we do have a full stack of services and a great support staff. Our physical location is in Arlington, Virginia. So if you know the area, you know the traffic, but it is a great location in Northern Virginia. And we have clients that are worldwide and staff spanning across the US with a presence in North Carolina by Mr. Masters. Yeah, I guess. So we do have extensive state and local experience. We've been around the space for quite some time. We work with local agencies and state agencies for over 19 years, creating powerful GIS visualizations that are really designed from day one with the best user experience in mind. We actually have in-house design team that is very much part of our process. So a quick slide, just give an overview of our representative clients, but my key point that I wanted to stress here is that we do remain committed to bringing, the latest technology and solutions to state and local governments, but we value building relationships with all our clients. For example, the town of Chapel Hill that we'll cover here in a minute, but it's very much part of our mission and value.
All right, excuse me. So, by a show of hands here, who works or lives in a town or city that is 20,000 people or less around that size? Anybody? Mr. Norwood, thank you for raising your hand. I wanna quickly dive into some work we're doing with the city of Manassas Park in Virginia. They are a small city in Northern Virginia, just pretty much our neighbors in the Arlington location. A little bit of background, they did not really have GIS. They had one kind of homegrown solution. It was not fully utilized. And kind of in the 2008 range, they made some budget cuts, like many things in that time frame, and their administrative and IT staff kind of took some hits, and the GIS was neglected. Fast forward to 2020, we know what happened worldwide that year with the pandemic, but a little bit of good came out of that with the CARES Act, and Manassas Park was able to use some CARES Act funding to contact Blue Raster, and we were able to rapidly deploy an ArcGIS Online organizational account for them, which included multiple public viewers, hub pages, as well as some staff-only internal viewers. We had the good fortune of working with a city manager, Chris Himes, who really saw the vision of GIS and wanted to empower his other departments in the city to use GIS. If any of you are in a position where you have that resource, somebody who gets the vision and wants to to utilize GIS technology as a holistic solution, definitely take advantage. It's been a great opportunity for Manassas Park. So like I said, we've stood up a lot of public-facing viewers and internal viewers, but one success story I want to share in particular. Is anybody here using any real-time GIS, AVL? Chapel Hill. So previously, Manassas Park invested in some hardware called Cradlepoint. That's hardware that goes into their first responder vehicles. It's almost like a internet router in the car, but it provides AVL feeds. Unfortunately, they made this investment before they knew they were going to ArcGIS Online. And at the time, Cradlepoint did not easily talk to ArcGIS Velocity. So one of the big tasks we had with Manassas Park is that we were able to kind of come up with a workaround where we were ingesting AVL feeds from Cradlepoint, which were sitting in their police fleet, and we utilized some Azure and function apps in Azure to then feed that into ArcGIS Velocity. So we are now getting near real-time data in their staff-only situational awareness viewer. So that combines live locations of their police fleet with their computer-aided dispatch points. So they have a very good idea of where units are, what they can respond to, and also we can do analytics on historical positions at certain times. So if they were ever to be audited or anything like that, that provides some good evidence for them to back up any claims or anything like that.
So the town of Chapel Hill, this was very much a collaborative partnership with multiple internal departments. We were asked to enhance situation awareness dashboards, improve access to the information, and help streamline decision-making during every EOC activation. The effort involved redesigning a suite of dashboards, several of them listed, supporting COVID-19 and hospitalizations in 2020, emergency operations, severe weather, 911, as well as street conditions. One of the biggest achievements that I read in an article that I definitely wanted to highlight from Kelly Drayton, who was the emergency manager, told us that one of the largest achievements being the elimination of the latency as emergency situations change. And I thought that was pretty powerful to be able to provide that assistance. Hold on. With that success story, we moved to supporting the fire department in some fire prevention. So for this dashboard, we created a custom workflow to pipe computer-aided dispatch data from Orange County, North Carolina 911 system. It pulls data from third-party APIs via AWS Lambda for some real-time incident data. You can visualize shift call data, some training status, safety violations, and a status of equipment. So there's a lot of information in these dashboards. We do have one of our GIS analysts on staff. Not only is she great with some of the dashboard configuration, but her cartography and stylizing really helps to be able to review all this information in a manageable and consumable way to be able to easily display the information and get it utilize as much real estate as possible. What's also being used is Survey 123 for shift manifest and equipment status. Near Chester County.
All right. So we're following a trend here. We're going from small to large, if you couldn't tell. I want to talk to you guys about Chester County. Chester County is in Pennsylvania. It is just west of Philadelphia. It has a population of around 500,000 people. Anyone in here live in a similar place or work for a similar county? Okay. Anyway, Chester County does have an established GIS team. They've been using GIS. However, as is the case with many, many counties, you'll find that maybe they implemented GIS and didn't necessarily keep up with the times in terms of infrastructure, architecture, versions of software, et cetera. So Chester County and Blue Raster engaged a few years ago, initially with an enterprise upgrade and migration. So they had older on-prem architecture and infrastructure. We were able to migrate and set up into new on-prem architecture and infrastructure, set up a dev, test, and production enterprise GIS environment for them, upgrade their ArcGIS enterprise versions, and then what that opened the door to is the ability for our team to develop or redevelop some of their legacy custom web applications. So in particular, this is the Chesco Views app. This is their public-facing web map viewer. So if you navigate to any county's kind of public GIS site, it's similar to that. This one in particular gets over 1 million hits a year and is pretty robust and popular. And what you're seeing here on the screen is one of the changes we made recently. They were very interested in high-resolution custom base maps, so we worked with a imagery vendor, and we're able to get them up-to-date, high-resolution leaf-on and leaf-off imagery, which we then incorporated into this viewer. Additionally, we have a similar version of this app called Health View, which is not displayed here, but that was more COVID-centric, but just goes to show when you have robust infrastructure and architecture, you can support quite a few robust applications. And then quickly, that work led to even more work. So we work with the Parks and Preservation Department at Chester County, both with cartography, print maps for their parks, but also we've developed ArcGIS hub sites that kind of align the goal of the Recreation Department to get people outside using their parks and trails and fishing locations. It's kind of a one-stop shop for trail maps, get a fishing license, et cetera. There's also a lot of really nice just multimedia on that site that displays Chester County's kind of natural beauty. And then a big one that we've been running into with state and local governments a lot is the migration from ArcMap to ArcPro. Specifically, this is in the tax department. They have a lot of custom tax mapping workflows that are tied to custom ArcMap tools that will simply break when ArcMap goes away. That's a challenge that is becoming more and more common. We're seeing that more often. And what we're doing is we've assessed those tools, and we're using a lot of the stock tools in ArcGIS Pro and migrating them into Parcel Fabric, which has been an interesting journey. They initially were pretty hesitant to go to Parcel Fabric because they had experienced the old version in the past, and it did not work for them. They hated it. So to regain the trust in the fabric, we had to slowly kind of introduce them to the new tools. But this lets them move away from redeveloping for very custom applications and using some configurable tools in ArcGIS Pro. And those aren't going to necessarily break when Pro versions change or anything like that.
So highlighting one of our state clients, and we may have time to highlight one more, we'll see.
Okay.
So we did work for the Georgia Secretary of State Elections Division. So in January of 2021, we were asked to help build a tool to assist with making sure their 8 million voters were correctly matched to the redistricting effort. So we created a platform utilizing the state's ArcGIS Hub Premium account and build a tool so both state and county election officials had one go-to location to be able to perform their quality assurance on the voter registration database. As part of this, there was quite a bit of automation that needed to go into this. It also had a need for several different levels of permission. So it allowed for all users, state and county election officials, to access the tool through their ArcGIS Online account, and they could all see the same landing page, but then navigate to their own county page where they were able to see certain metrics on how their redistricting effort was going. So we started out with at least twice a week doing these iterations of geocoding 8 million voters, and then doing a spatial intersection of the new congressional, Senate, and House districts to give them output twice a week, and they would iterate through this process. They did it through March. The hub is still active right now, and the effort still goes on, although it has slowed a bit. But we're revisiting how to best utilize the metrics and keep the county officials coming to a one-stop location. But to first create the hub, we automated the process of generating the 159 county pages that were permission specific. They all were able to see the same information, but unique metrics that showed their progress. And then they were able to download their data from an open data page and bring it into their own system to be able to validate and make corrections. We used Python scripting to both automate the updates. So twice a week, we ran the script to update these pages. And then we were able, by creating these pages and management of these pages, so we were able to streamline that process to what started off with, at least a couple days. We turned it down to about 24-hour turnaround time of when we got the 8 million record voter file to then the output in the county pages. So we did highlight just a few of our clients. We welcome any questions. This just gives a quick overview of where everyone resides. But if you do have any questions, let us know. That was our one animation that we added, not even on purpose.
All right then, well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For coming.